Night still clings to Lily's sleep. Her dreams are no longer safe. Every time she closes her eyes, she hears the scream again and the thing behind it. Outside, 2 Derry police officers sit in a patrol car watching Hank Logan's house. They're convinced he had something to do with the children who disappeared from the movie theater that night. They talked quietly, wondering what Hank might have done and how the parents of those kids must be feeling inside. Hank's mother peeks through the curtain, sees the police outside, and tells her son they're still there. Hank already knows. They'll stay until they find the kids, he says, or until they figure out how to blame me. His mother insists she already told them the truth. Hank was home that night, watching TV with her. But Hank knows the police won't take that. With proof Ronnie is looming, she hears every word. Surviving what happened at the theater was already unbearable. Now she has to watch her father be treated like the criminal everyone wants. Hank's mother says Ronnie would never have let those kids into the theater in the first place. Hank gently stops her. Ronnie is not to blame. His mother suggests Ronnie needs to return to school next week. She doesn't want her hiding in the house forever. She wants her to study, to have a future, to someday leave Derry. But Hank refuses. I'm not letting her out of my sight. Kids get lost here. Kids disappear. His mother argues softly. He can't protect her forever. Ronnie, still listening, steps into the room. Her voice is small. Are they going to blame you? Are they going to arrest you? Hank kneels and tells her no, that it was just the adult talk, but Ronnie can see the fear in the room. Everything will be okay. Outside his new house, Hanlon waits on the porch. A car pulls up. It's Charlotte and their son, Will. The moment Will sees his father. He runs into his arms. The hug is tight, warm, real. It has been too long. Will rushes inside to explore. Charlotte and Hanlon stand together for a moment, quiet but close.
Good afternoon.
Will discovers a telescope in his room. A gift, a bridge, perhaps, between a distant father and a quiet son. But even here, something hangs in the air. Something unspoken. Maybe we could use this spot on their neighbors.
Yeah, probably not.
Later, Helen studies photographs of the masks worn by the men who attacked him. The images are grainy, but he stares at them as if the truth might reveal itself if he just looks long enough. Charlotte comes in and continues unpacking. Hanlon thanks her for suggesting the telescope. It was the right choice. Without saying it directly, he's admitting that bonding with Will is not easy for him. Charlotte smiles and says the last thing Will needed was a baseball glove. Hanlon laughs and says at Will's age he would have traded anything for one. Charlotte reminds him gently, well, isn't you? He sees the world differently. Hanlon doesn't argue. He knows she's right. Derry is still grieving. A curfew sign stands at the gate. Every child is watched. Every hallway whispers. Marge tries to impress the popular girls. She laughs when they laugh, even when it hurts. And it's Marge. Yeah, something here. Ronnie walks in, and the room falls silent. They whisper about her father. They whisper about the bodies. They whisper loud enough for her to hear. But one girl steps forward. Lily. She stands beside Ronnie, even though she is afraid, too. Across the hall, Marge asks Lily if she's all right. After what happened at the theater, Lily answers calmly, though her expression shows the weight she's still carrying. Marge then tells her it seems like Lily has been avoiding her. Lily says she's just trying to process everything. Marge tries to seem supportive, but then warns her quietly if the others see talking to Ronnie. They'll stop talking to you. She suggests Lily sit with her group at lunch. She promises she'll help her fit in again. Lily looks at her, disappointed. Teddy is dead. Phil is dead. Phil's sister is dead. I don't care about fitting in. Marge is left in silence. The classroom door opens. Will arrives late. The teacher scolds him and Will hurries to his seat. A classmate pulls the chair back, just as Will tries to sit. He falls hard to the floor. The class laughs. Will picks up his things silently and sits without arguing. One boy, instead of laughing, compliments whose pencil is small kindness, quiet, quick. But it landed.
Thanks. Eyes forward!
Later at the base, Hanlon enters a meeting. Colonel Shaw informs him that they found the weapon used in the assault. They question Masters and he confessed. Shaw says he was not a Soviet agent, just a racist idiot. They're also investigating 2 other soldiers involved. Shaw promises justice. Hanlon listens, but his eyes show doubt. The detail doesn't fit. Masters could not have handled that weapon the way the attacker did. Before he leaves, Hanlon reminds Shaw the gun was Soviet and the attacker loaded it with expert speed. Shaw doesn't respond. The silence says everything. Charlotte leaves for the town center. She steps out of the car and looks around, getting her first real sense of Derry. She buys flowers, then notices a small protest happening nearby. People are arguing about the construction of the Paul Bunyan statue. Angry, loud, emotional. No one agrees on what the town should. They shouldn't honor. Charlotte continues to the butcher shop. The butcher, Stan asked if she's just passing through. Charlotte smiles politely and tells him no, she and her family just moved here. She senses what he meant. Not are you passing through, but you're new and you stand out. He quickly corrects himself, embarrassed, and introduces himself. The kids call me Stanley Shaw. While they talk, Charlotte looks through the window and sees something disturbing. Outside, a group of older boys are bullying another boy, shoving him, mocking him, hitting him. No one steps in. People walk past. They look away. Charlotte asks Stan why no one is helping. Stan just shrugs. That's how kids are here. Charlotte refuses to accept that. She walks outside and confronts the bullies. The boy being attacked breaks free and runs. The bullies run after him. Everyone on the sidewalk stares at Charlotte, not grateful, not alarmed. Just staring, like she broke a silent rule in Derry. You don't get involved. That night at dinner, Charlotte is still upset. She recounts what happened, the bullying, the bystanders, the silence. Her voice carries frustration, disbelief, and anger. Hanlon is tired, distant. Will is quiet, eating carefully, trying not to draw attention. Charlotte says she even wanted to go talk to the parents of those boys. Will interrupts, tired, irritated, overwhelmed. She asks gently whether anything like that has happened to him at school. Will lowers his eyes. No, it's a lie. But he doesn't want to talk. Hanlon tries to calm the room, suggests everyone forget the incident. Will asks to leave the table. Charlotte stops him. She wants family time. She wants connection. She looks at Hanlon. She sees something on his face, something troubled and heavy. She asks what's wrong. Hanlon does not answer. All he says is, I can't talk about my work. The table goes quiet. Ronnie lies in her bed, staring at a photo of her mother. Downstairs, her father and grandmother are arguing loudly. Anxiety, fear, blame. She pulls the blanket over her head, trying to block out the voices. Then something shifts. The blanket starts to throb. Oh, and pulsing like something alive. Above her, the white blanket turns dark red, thick and wet. Find herself drowning from under her blanket. Ronnie tries to escape, but it wraps around her. She struggles, pushing find ways to escape, her breathing sharp till her feet peaks. Out from the blanket. From that point, she finds her way out, soaked and slimy. From the corner of the room, her mother's wedding gown lay in the chair, and suddenly her mother's head rose up. Her face is warped with pain and rage. She says, you destroyed me. You came out of me and tore me apart. Her voice grows sharper, crueler. You ruined me. Just like those kids. Just like you'll ruin your father. They're going to take him. They'll fry him. An umbilical cord snakes out, reaching for Ronnie's stomach, dragging her downward into a dark space that resembles a room full of teeth. Ronnie screams and claws her way back up. Her mother lurches toward her. Burning eyes pop out inside that stomach, pulling her to eat her. Ronnie wrestled and bit the cord free herself from the monster tummy. Ronnie is shocked. The monster got up and started shrieking. And that's where Hank bursts into the room. The nightmare vanishes instantly. Ronnie collapses into his arms, shaking, terrified. In a small Derry bar, 3 black military officers sit together talking quietly about the police questioning that happened earlier. One of them is Hanlon. He hasn't been interrogated himself, but he doesn't say much about why he keeps his mission details to himself. The door opens and Police Chief Clint walks in. He sits at the bar nearby. 2 councilmen came whispered to Chief, wondering out loud if Hank has been arrested yet. They assume he's guilty even though there's still no evidence and his alibi hold. This ain't America, this is Derry. Notices the officers sitting together. He leans toward the bartender and says something low enough that no one else can hear. The bartender turns and stares at the 3 men. The The message is clear, unspoken, sharp. Then they stand up and quietly leave. They head back to the base. No confrontation, just the kind of silence Derry uses to push people out. When they arrive back at the base, the guard at the gate stops them and asks for identification. He explains that the base is currently closed. No one is allowed to enter or leave without special permission. He reaches for the phone to call the duty officer, but Halloran steps forward and speaks calmly. Just tell him, Halloran, his privileges.
My ass.
The friend pauses. Guard makes the call and says his name. The response comes back immediately. The gate opens. No questions, no delay. Halloran is cleared just by name. The next day, 3 native teenagers watch from a distance as a group of military personnel dig on their land. Halloran is among them. He looks exhausted, still dealing with the hangover and something heavier beneath it. This is their 4th dig site in the last 4 months, and the officer in charge is clearly running out of patience. He complains about hiking through the woods just to dig up junk again. He turns to Halloran and says that people talk about his gift, this ability he supposedly has. But to him, it seems like Howler and only finds what the government lets him see and nothing more. No breakthroughs, no result. With the sarcastic edge, he asks Halloran if he enjoys all the special treatment that comes with his reputation power and doesn't argue. He doesn't defend himself. He just answers calmly, "We're close. You better off son." In the cafeteria, Marge waves for Lily to join her group. Lily ignores her and sits alone. Moments later, Ronnie walks in nervous, pale, and quietly sits beside her. "It came back," she whispers. Lily looks at her worried. Across the room, Marge's friends giggle, whispering about Lily sitting with Ronnie, trying to win back attention. Marge cracks a joke. They laugh, but she looks uneasy. Ronnie's crying. "That monster said they're coming for my father. They'll fry him." Lily speaks gently, reminding her she told the police Hank wasn't there. Ronnie frowns. "Did you tell them the same thing you told me?" Lily hesitates. She admits she told the officers she wasn't sure what she saw when Ronnie asked if she mentioned the monster. Lily lowers her voice. "No, if I say that, they'll think I'm crazy and send me back to Juniper Hill." Ronnie insists they're talking about her father's life. Lily says she's done all she can. She said Hank wasn't there. Ronnie stands trembling. We both know that's a lie. The cafeteria falls silent. Everyone stares as the teacher rushes over and sends Ronnie to detention.
Excuse me, young lady.
Will eat lunch alone, sitting quietly on the floor with the book. Rich hung by and tells him he can't sit there because it's reserved, but a moment later he laughs and admits he's kidding. Turns out just like Will. Rich also eats lunch alone. They talk for a bit. Rich asks what book who's reading, but before he can answer, a group of girls walk past, especially Marge, and Rich lets out a small sigh, trying not to look obvious. Suddenly, another boy sets off a stink bomb in the hall. The smoke spread, and the confusion will run and bumps into a teacher and knocks her papers to the floor. She's not happy and will get punished and scared. Later in detention, we'll realize Ronnie is there covering her nose. He tells her sorry, he stink due to stink bomb. He didn't do anything wrong, that it was unfair that he got to blamed. Ronnie says she actually deserves to be there. We'll notice as the book in his hands and smiles. She's surprised to see him reading by choice. He says science just makes sense to him and even tries to lighten the mood, pointing out that some of the same chemicals in the smoke bomb exist on other planets. Ronnie looks at him and says that's strange. Will smiles back. A strange one recognizes another strange one. Outside, Lily faces something worse than detention. The police arrive and quietly take her away. At the station, she sits across from Officer Clint's, hands relaxed, eyes focused. He speaks gently, pretending to comfort her, telling her she didn't really see Hank that night. But Clint knows exactly how to twist her fear. He plays on her trust, the memories of what happened with her father, and makes her doubt herself. Then, in a cold, controlled voice, he adds a threat disguised as concern. "If you're confused, maybe we should send you back to Juniper Hill, just for a few days." Lily freezes. The thought alone paralyzes her. Clint leans forward, calm and steady. "Are you absolutely sure Hank wasn't there?" Lily hesitates just for a second, but that silence is enough. Moments later, police cars pull up at Hank's house. He's arrested and led away in handcuffs while Ronnie and her grandmother watched, stunned and powerless. Ronnie's eyes filled with tears as the car drives off. A short while later, Ronnie burst into Lily's house, desperate and furious. "What did you do?" Lily tries to explain through tears, saying she didn't mean to. That Officer Clint tricked her, pressured her, and she didn't know how to respond. Ronnie stares at her, heartbreak and anger mixing together, before Lily's mother steps in and quietly closes the door. The next morning at the military base, Hanlon stands outside Master's cell. On the table in front of him, he places a Soviet-made pistol and a magazine. He tells Masters it's the same weapon one of his attackers used that night, a model from the Eastern Bloc rarely seen on this side of the Berlin Wall. It's a difficult gun to handle and even harder to load. In a firm voice, Hanlon asked how Masters managed to get his hands on something that rare, and how he could use it with such skill. Hanlon points out that the man who attacked him loaded it fast, too fast, with precision even many trained officers don't have. Masters glares at him. That says nothing. Hanlon continues, explaining that he already checked Masters' record. It shows he can barely assemble an M16, let alone operate a Soviet weapon with that kind of ease. Then Hanlon changed his tactics. He provokes Masters on purpose. Small jabs, calculated insults, waiting for a reaction. Master snapped. He grabs the pistol, tries to load it but can't. That's all Hanlon needs. His theory is confirmed. Masters wasn't the man who attacked him. Later that night, Hanlon reports to General Shaw. He tells him flatly that Masters is guilty of being a racist fool, but he's not guilty of the assault. He plans to file a report for a full investigation. Before Hanlon can leave, Shaw tells him to sit. The general admits he wanted to see if the rumors about Hanlon's brain injury were true, and that Hanlon hasn't disappointed him. A damaged amygdala. Shaw says something he's never seen in 50 years of service. He calls Hanlon a man without fear. A rarity, someone he's been looking for a long time. Then Shaw reveals the truth. It was all a test, and Hanlon passed. Hanlon, furious, demands to know who the masked man was, the one who struck him with a pipe. Shaw admits it shouldn't have happened, but says he promised anonymity to his men still. He asked Hanlon to stay 10 more minutes. There's something else you need to hear, Shaw says. Later that day, Lily goes to the supermarket alone. Her mother's working at double shift, so it's just her. At the end of one aisle, she hears a voice behind her, low and shapeless. "You should be locked up," it whispers. She freezes. Then, over the store's loudspeaker, another voice calls her name. Everyone around her turns to stare. Panic hits. She hurries down the aisle, but the rows seem to stretch and twist, turning into a dead end that shouldn't exist. The lights flicker. In front of her faces appear, her dead friends staring out from cereal boxes, and the glass of a pickle jar. Inside the jar, her father's decaying face looks right at her. She screams and throws it. The jar shatters. Cans and boxes crash down around her. The flickering lights reveal movement, limbs twisting, merging, forming a shapeless creature that crawls toward her. Something grabs her by the neck. The monster approaches slowly, telling her, "Come to daddy." She shuts her eyes, and when she opens them, everything is normal again. No creature, no noise, only the shattered pickle jar lying on the floor. Her mother sees the mess and the panic. It's the final sign she needs. She decides Lily must go back to Juniper Hill. Shaw leads Hanlon into a restricted area deep inside the base. As they walk, he explains what really happened at the so-called agricultural summit in Cuba earlier that year. It wasn't about farming. It was a secret plan between the Cubans and Soviets to place nuclear warheads, close enough to hit the US in minutes. Shaw stops and says quietly, "What I'm about to show you might be our only chance to stop it." Inside the briefing room, he reveals maps and classified files. Their mission isn't to build a new weapon. It's to find one buried long ago beneath Derry. No one knows what it is, only that its presence drives men insane. Shaw explains that strange objects act like beacons around it, marking its location. If they can find those, they'll find the weapon, and Hanlon will be the one to secure it. How's that? Suddenly, a soldier rushes in with Halloran. They've made a discovery. Rain pounded the ground as Hanlon follows them to the dig site. Under the floodlights, soldiers unearth a 1930s car. And as the metal frame breaks open, skeletons tumble out into the mud. They all freeze whatever they're looking for. They've just gotten closer, and justice like that. A car from the 1930s, a pile of skeletons, and a secret buried under Derry. Whatever they found wasn't supposed to be found. You think the nightmare's over? Think again. Next, Welcome to Derry episode 3. Now you see.
We're close.